Hey guys, I'm just in this abandoned school. I sure do hope no bald white men come and slap me with a ruler. No! Hey fuckers, it's me, Prototype. Welcome to my demo! If you couldn't already tell, today's video is about Baldi's Basics Plus, and why it's peak. Not only that, I'm also going to be analyzing the mechanics and pointing out what Delverlikes could take from it to improve. First, I do gotta address that the game is technically not a Delverlike. A Delverlike can be stripped down to a roguelike with multiplayer and survival horror elements with task-based progression. Baldi is just that without the multiplayer. If you don't know any Delverlikes that I'm referring to, go watch my video on roguelikes or any of my videos on Danny's World. Okay, have fun. Okay, I'm gonna assume we're all on the same page here. Let's get into the main thing I think puts Baldi above most Delvers. Welcome to Carson's Basics in Delvercation and Game Dev. All I need 7 mushroom girls to get out of this game. Baldi's task system has something no other Delver task has. Depth. Sure, most of the long-term tasks have the option to stay or the option to leave, but Baldi has a bit more than that. What I'm referring to is a few things. You can intentionally fail the task, which still gives you a notebook to progress no matter what. And you can do bonus tasks after the final required task to earn extra points. I think this is a really interesting way to design a task, and it adds a lot more ways to interact with the systems. Do you take your time and do every task perfectly to stall Baldi and get Munty, or do you rush every task in order to get it over with quicker? Do you choose to waste a little more time for money on early floors at the risk of getting caught? It adds so many more decisions and ways to play the game. Should every Delver-like task have these? No, obviously, these exact mechanics won't automatically work in every instance. I think the main thing to take away from this is implementing fast and greedy play. What do I mean by fast and greedy play? Well, essentially, fast play is when players prioritize completing floors as quickly as possible. Greedy play is when you prioritize getting more done on a floor. You can see this with Baldi's bonus tasks. If a player wants to greed, they can do them, but if they don't, they can safely ignore it. More task systems should try to implement riskier options that give more reward, aka greed. The easiest way to do this would be to add 2 to 3 extra tasks every floor that give a big bonus upon completing them all. The risk is that you have to complete them during escape mode. This would be a pretty simple solution that'd add more variety in how you approach floors in a Delverlike. Obviously, don't do this if your task takes too long to complete in escape mode. That'd just be like evil and fucked up, and I would have to kill you. Sorry. Given that the player is completely barren of actual abilities, Baldi's items work as the supplement. With the exception of a few, most Baldi items are interactive with entities in the environment, with some like the banana peel having depth by having more than one use, like tripping up entities or a speed boost for the player in the right situation. This depth is what a lot of Delver-like items lack, since most Delver-likes either have a copious amount of stamina items or abilities which have this level of interactive behavior, or they have neither. Thanks, Quell. Delverlike should explore more tightly woven item pools such as this, or at least make uncommon to rare items require more forethought and use effectively. You could even do away with the grading system for items entirely to make every item integral. The entities in Baldi are more than just threats. They're multifaceted. Most of the enemies have ways to use them to your benefit. You could call him Principal to deal with Bully. You could use First Prize to get you across the map easily. Cloudy Copter lets you get across halls faster if you go with the wind. Enemies also all have unique counters. Say you get caught by playtime. How are you going to get out of this situation? Well, you can skip rope like she wants you to. You can use the scissors as long as you won't get caught by Principal, or you can jump out of her line of sight. There is more than one way to counter this depending on the situation. I'm not saying to just make every enemy into a support like Baldi. I'm saying enemies should have more than just one thing to them. Take something like Glisten from Danny's World, for example. They just have a meter that goes down to 0, and when it hits 0, they get mad and kill you. This only has one counter, being near him. Imagine how much more fun Glisten would be to go against if they had multiple counters. You actually don't have to imagine it. Just look at Highfly from Dolly's Factory. The only Delver-like I could actually call... okay, and it's dead. God damn it. Highfly takes the concept of Glisten raging when not near anyone and reworks it into a much more fun to play around enemy. Once they spot you, they run after you before playing music. You have to then hit a button after a second or two, and then they get off you. You are actively able to avoid them during every stage of their attack. You can outrun them during their initial chase. You can leave their circle when they're playing their music, or you could just avoid their line of sight entirely. The first two options result in them enraging, however, which puts a lot more pressure on you since you have to waste a lot of stamina to get away from them. Overall, this is how I think Delverlike should try to design their enemies. And now for some random mechanics from Baldi I think could be adapted well into Delvers. I think water fountains are a really neat way to deal with the game's stamina and regen system. If your Delverlike has faster stamina drain, or you just want stamina to be more of a strategy check than a resource, definitely look into this mechanic. Baldi's side objectives are pretty cool. By that I mean the miners! You essentially have to find their lost toy and bring it back to them, giving you extra money. It's simple and gives you something extra to do on every floor. Stickers are a pretty neat mechanic, being temporary in-run upgrades that let you min-max a build. Most Delverlikes have an upgrade system, but never for individual players. Letting individuals get stronger across a run would bring some much-needed spice to runs. And lastly, fuck, I ran out of things to talk about. Fuck, I have nothing else to bring up in Baldi. It doesn't have that much content in its current state. I also have only played it for like 2 hours, so I haven't experienced everything there is to see. If only there was another game that also had a lot to show to the Delverlike genre. If only there was another game that also had a lot to show to the Delverlike genre. If only there was another— Okay, this isn't working. I'm ending the video. Bye.
Oh, hi. Welcome to my rapverse. Hi, I'm Baldi. Come and see my fat rhymes. Game's so good I had to make it 2 times. 2 what does it equal? I'm sure that you can find the real reason this whole genre got defined. Somehow the only one with bonus tasks. When your platform dies, I'll still be making racks of shiny quarters. The fan base that got my back. Well, Stockholm Syndrome got your fans making death packs. You think you're too cool for my schoolhouse. The new merch you got is the only thing to announce. You think a duo task is major. I haven't seen it this bad since I met the neighbor. Just try to loot me with your big speed boost. When I catch your ass, you'll be hanging by a— Your game design is weak. Might need a tutor. Let's see what you think face to face with my ruler. Baldi, Baldi, Baldi in the elevator. Minus elevation master turning a new paper. Dandy, Dandy has an FN class.